evening again, our viewers. We want to welcome you to another edition of MLC Talk. This is the platform we discuss all things Lutheran. Today's Palm Sunday. We want to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful time as we transition into Easter. Good Friday is somewhere around the corner this week, and we'll be having the Easter Resurrection morning. But today we have with us the Men's Fellowship, the National Lutheran Church Men's Fellowship. Um, the Men's Fellowship had just um, ended their convention in Yekipa, Nima County, and elections were held. So we are sitting with the national leadership today. Um, the national president, Brother Golayo, is here with us. He just went out due to some technical reasons. He will be joining us back. We also have the first vice president, Mr. Patrick Jackson. He's joining us from Phoebe, and Brother Jerome Colley from St. Matthews, my own parish. He will be joining us very shortly. He's also having some little technical issues, but he will be joining us very shortly. And today we have with us in studio my dear brother, friend Elijah Zena. He's there joining us from our studios in Minneapolis. Our sister, Couple Sele, we hope that she will be joining us from our studios there in Canada, to be precise, Winnipeg, Canada. And our ambassador there in Freetown, Sierra Leone, we hope that he'll be joining us if the technical services will permit him to join us. As we all know, I think it was last week where Elijah when West Africa suffered that network issue. So yeah, that's the reason why the ambassador could not join us. And we all know our busy schedule for our senior brother Abel Lewilly. He will be joining us sometime because the men fellowship is all to his heart. But again, we are glad to have with us in studios um, the president, Mr. S. Golayan. But before the president can come in, Elijah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, my brother. It is a wonderful Sunday. Today is Easter Sunday. We all went to church celebrating the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. And as we are approaching Easter, we are all anticipating and praying to walk with Jesus during these dark hours of his ministry while he was on earth. So it's a good thing to be back here today and to talk. We'll have a conversation with our fathers of the men department. My own, my own father over there, Father Golian. It's been a while since I last saw him. Good to see him. Father Patrick Jackson, it's good to see you as well. I'm looking forward to having a very good conversation with all of you tonight.
Yes, absolutely. We're looking forward to this conversation, and we really want to appreciate uh, Father Jackson, Father Golayan for being here with us. Father Golayan, this is not your first time. You've been here, with us several times, and Father Jackson want to welcome you. So we're going to start today with Father Golan, maybe you can just bring up words since the last time we met, and sorry, we promised to have you more often, but sorry the fact that it took a little while, but we're glad you're here today. And you are muted, just to let you know you are muted right now. So maybe you can unmute yourself. All right, we're gonna bring in yeah, go ahead.
On mute.
Father Golan, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah, if you look on the screen, you will see the notification. I just sent it to you. Okay. Uh-uh. No. Okay.
Yeah, you go.
Yes. Yeah, you should be good now.
I think he's
Yeah.
been having.
All right. We, we're gonna try to do this. We will try to have the. We'll try to make some. Elijah, what we do? Let us bring in Father Jackson, and
Yes.
since
Yeah.
this is his first time, and we'll try to make some technical adjustments.
for Father go
Yeah.
down here. If it's possible, we could get him on the phone as well. So Father Patrick Jackson, you can go ahead and just introduce yourself, and then
Okay, first of all, I want to say bless God that you people will organize such a wonderful forum, even though today is my first time. Well, I'm Patrick Y. Jackson, a member of the St. Lutheran Church Phoebe Hospital compound, and I also were elected as first vice president of the National Lutheran Church Fellowships Band. And I work with Phoebe Hospital as chief of finance, and I've been here for some long time. And for the betterment of our church, as you all know, that Phoebe have been one of the places where missionaries from the United States have been built. I mean, they are concentrated. During the war, they organized such a program, a scholarship program that have been very helpful for Lutheran schools as well as other schools in Bon County and including BWI. We have been very active in that to make sure that our Lutheran school going children are well supported and those ones that don't have a mean. Glad to be here, and it's good to get in touch with you people where we can be able to put idea to move our church forward.
thank you very much, Father Patrick, and we are very very much glad to have you here tonight, and as we have conversation around the National Lutheran Church Men Fellowship. So to start up with, as the first vice president of the National Lutheran Church Men, as we are still waiting for the president to have audio access to this show, we will just kick the ball rolling with you. So
Yeah.
first of all, as a first vice president, before I ask you the question, I just want to let you know that when I was back home in Liberia, I served with the Lutheran Church in Liberia as the national president for the Lutheran Youth Fellowship, the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. And one of my conventions, my last convention was held in Phoebe as well, St. Luke's Parish. And before getting to the national, I served as second vice president for the National Lutheran Fellowship, not the Lutheran, but the Bulk District. You know, we have the feedback. Where do you know where the feedback coming from?
No, no, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't have
we
other
got it.
class on here.
Yeah. So yeah, I served as a second vice president for the Bond district at a time when we never had the lower Bond district, and at the time I was residing in Tototas, so my jurisdiction was around the whole lower Bond, what is now called the lower Bond district. Uh-huh. So as the first vice
Yeah.
president of the National Men Fellowship, what is your role and jurisdiction in the fellowship?
Yeah, as it's good that you know how our country is like, because like the whole leadership is in Monrovia in terms of the president, the secretary, and looking at Phoebe, that is the central aspect of Liberia, and being the first vice president is like many of times. Sometimes I visit some of the parishes up here. I mean, to show that the men are there. But one of the major things that again we encounter is like when it comes to the men fellowship in the various parishes, very few when you call meeting. So my main goal at the Lewis in the Lewis area is to concentrate the men in the very parish in the various parishes, the importance of all holding together, because there is the church we have. For some of us, we look at it to be inherited because we saw our parents were in Lutheran church and coming to follow, and we want that process to say continue. And the only ways to do it is to keep together as an organization, so that when we are strong together, then we can move forward. I mean, these are some of the messages that circulated among our people. And with my setup, with my being with Phoebe Hospital, There are times some parishes may not have the capability like to move forward, like the conventions at Yekepa. I mean, the resources from Phoebe, we could govern that, and other people that would not have the means, we were able, I mean, to build up their capacity, and they were able to attend the conventions at, how to call it, in Yekepa. Even they are coming back. These are some of the activities that, I mean, we do. And as you know, Phoebe being a pastor, many of times sometimes there are some people by virtues that with Lutheran connection. So we do things as like a family, more especially knowing that we all belong to the same church. I
Thank
mean,
you,
these are
Honorable
some of
First
the
Vice.
activities that we.
Okay, so now that we have Brother Jerome, we want to say, Jerome Cody, we want to say welcome to the show. Can you text your audio for us so that we can know that you're live?
Hello, Tess. Hello, Tess.
Yep,
Yeah, I
we
can hear
hearing
you,
you,
Jerome.
Jerome.
Am I
Yeah,
live?
you are
You,
loud and
Yeah, we
clear.
hear you.
we are very live, and you are live as well. Welcome to the program. This is my Lutheran Connection, and we are just in the process of asking question. And I was just talking with the vice president, and he was the first vice president. Um, Talking to us about his jurisdiction and role in the fellowship. So, being a second vice president, can you just introduce yourself and also tell us your jurisdiction and your role within the National Lutheran Churchman Fellowship?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the organization of this talk show. Again, my name is Jerome L.M. College Jr. I am the second vice president of the National Lutheran Churchman Fellowship, formerly the general secretary of the National Lutheran Churchman Fellowship. And as you're aware, I serve the young people as a president of St. Matthew Lutheran Fellowship. And currently, I am serving this noble exonerate as the second vice president. So my jurisdiction covered the central office and the parishes close to the central office because as you're aware, our constitution created two slots for vice presidency. That is the second vice president and the first vice president. The first vice president comes from the interior side, where he helped the president in organizing, representing the president from the interior level, that is the district outside Moravia district. It would be the lower Bond district, the upper Bond district, lower and upper Lofa district. It would be lower and upper southeast district. It would be the Kagata district, with the exception of Moravia district. So my jurisdiction covers Moravia district and the national office. The role, my role is similar to the role of the presidency. The president and myself, we got the same role to perform. But my role began active when the president allowed me to perform the role me to perform, or in the absence of the president in Moravia, then my role became an active role. Other than that, I serve as the chairman on the program and planning, because the second vice president serve as chairman on program and planning. So not to bore you long, these are my jurisdictions and my function. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cody. You sound like the real politician of Liberia. All right, Mr. President. Welcome as second vice president and the first vice president. We appreciate
Yeah.
the both of you being on the show tonight, and I know we're gonna have some really good conversation. Just to kick the ball rolling,
Elijah,
can you guys? Yeah.
Elijah, before you go further, we have the president on the phone. Maybe he could just bring us greetings, then we can proceed. Go
Oh,
ahead, Father. Go ahead.
absolutely. Wait a minute.
How you doing?
We are listening to you. All right. You can go ahead, Elijah. Go ahead with the first round of questions.
So unfortunately, having a technical issue with the
You're going in and out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of breaking a little bit, but we can hear you now.
Are you not hearing me?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now. You're loud and clear.
So, hello. Okay. So, hello. And having the program. We have here is Bolaño, and the president for the first and gracefully were elected again for the second term. So we are grateful to the National Lutheran Church in Liberia. So as our Excellency will be able to
Yeah, okay, Elijah.
come on board. But took over. The fellowship did not have what we call today projects, but through the instrumentality of other members like Abel Eweli, who first helped us in procuring
Woody, can we ask the president to change his location because he ready coming in Brooklyn? We can get exactly what he's saying, and the audience
Yeah.
are not hearing what he's saying. So while we're trying to get the president on, since the first and the second vice president are very live, I will ask the both of you just so how is the men department doing? Out of you can answer that.
Well, okay, Patrick Jackson. And I would say, yes, we are doing good. And it's like the leadership is in place. So what we try to do, like I mentioned before, in our individual parishes, there are still some difficulties in terms of men of the church to be in full, in terms of meeting, that's one. Those are those challenges. But on the national level, like representation from the various parishes that knows the importance of the organization, they are fully in the work of the National Lutheran Men Fellowship work. So what we need now to do is that trying to concentrate the rest of the men in the various parishes that had not yet got the understanding so that they can join us. So I will, in overall, we are doing good because the leadership is in place.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. You said like the leadership is in place. I understand that you guys just came back from convention in Yekipa and
Yeah.
you all were elected again into your various offices. So in terms, I heard the president through the crack that there are some project that the National Lutheran Church Man is carrying on. Can you just tell us about that project and what is the goal of that project?
Yeah, okay. First, it was the first project. It was like the National Lutheran Men Union Front, which is a Lapa seal. That's one. So that whenever we appeared, we can all know that we are uniformatic. That's one. Then they had a secret, racing peak, and that is still at the start point in that bombing end, and being the goal of that is whenever that project, let's say, pick up, we expect that other parishes will be taken by, let's say, by pair, so that we can spread all that, more especially those of us that in the rural area. That's one aspect. So that, we can, that will show that indeed we are one. And I think one of the that we are thinking of is that because the movement in the organization is one of the challenging issue. So I think we are thinking of as to how we can, the organization can own our own vehicles. That will be one of the something that will be brainstorming. I think that is in the planning stage, more especially for the introductions of the new leadership for this, a period. These are some of those things that we are looking at. Yeah.
All right. So the Pickery project is one of the projects of the men department, and it's aimed at
Yeah.
sustainability of the
Yeah.
of the men's department. How
Yeah.
cooperative, taking into consideration your jurisdiction, and when we talk about sustainability, I understand that like the men department is one of the youngest department that has getting active over the years. Peace be unto his actually the first president, Brother Benedict Kekla,
Yeah.
who started up as the first president of the department and ran the department for some years before he passed away. He was still alive when your leadership came into place. So, as you are now undertaking the project of sustainability of the men department, how can you describe the support of the men of the Lutheran Church in Liberia? How are the cooperative? How are they supporting you in this process? Either you or Jerome can answer that question.
No, I can come. I would say, look, they are
All right.
supported
So
because. Uh-huh.
let me help to answering that question. Um, as you stated, the men accelerate right now is one of the youngest accelerate. Imagine the youth accelerate is even older than the men accelerate. So what we have tried to do in recent time under our administration, under our first administration where I serve as general secretary, we've initiated a project that is the pig pen project. We were able to secure two pigs, and some of our brothers help us in building the pig pen. And from the two pigs right now, we have up to 19 piglets. So the funding has come from the quota that is being paid by the men auxiliary. Some of the funding come from the quota from the men's auxiliary, and some are even come from the president himself, because the president is developmental oriented. So sometimes he doesn't have to wait for the auxiliary in paying quota. Sometimes he uses his own money to fund some of our projects. But what we are doing right now is we are embarked on a cassava farm project. One of our brothers also promised that after the cassava have grown, he will give us a cassava processing machine so that we can transform the cassava into a garri and start selling it out. So the men, when it comes to innovation, we got a lot of innovation. But the funding to support the accelerate, this is what we are struggling with right now, because as you know, we don't have no support from the international world. So everything we are doing here, we are doing it from our little resources, our meager resources that we generate, especially through convention. As I well, we only get money one time in a year. That is when we go to convention. And guess what? Even our convention, the convention that we really raise money is the election convention, because everybody want to participate in the election. Everybody want to vote for their own candidate. So the rule is straight to the point. Your parent has to be clear 100% before you are allowed to vote. It is only at that convention that we raise a lot of money. Other than that, the regular convention for the 2 years, the regular convention, some of the parages don't even attend convention. But when it comes to election convention, like the Yegepa convention, there were a lot of parages again who were in the Yegepa convention, the Ganta convention, because some are all contesting, and some of them want to vote for us. So they have to come and clear all of their deficit in order to have the opportunity to vote. So from some of these places, we raise money in implementing our project. And right now, we got a cassava farm project in Belefanai, where we are trying to plant cassava. So if we have the cassava farm project and the pig project, that lot of projects. Right now, we are counting on our very district. We're saying, come, we got a lot of pigs. We got 19 pigs. What we are doing with the 19 pigs? We want to empower all of the districts. Come to us, you sign for the pig, you carry it. When the pig start to produce, we tell you what to do. Maybe we'll tell you you have to get a pair or two back to the national office. Or when you sell, you get this percentage to the national office. But up to now, my brother, as I speak to you, no district have come to us say they want a pair of pigs. So we take it from the district, we go to the parages again. We call in the parages. We say, we got pigs, we got 19 pigs. Please come and take some of the pigs and go and raise them. Because when you raise these pigs, you sell them, we generate a lot of money. You understand? So these are how some of our projects and the implementations are ongoing. Thank you. My first vice president rather can add up to what I said if he has information. Thank you.
No, I think that you are saying much just as you talking about the next of that project will be the cassava project. And even though it's not long lasting, but it helped some of the parishes to keep us together as an organizational member.
Thank you very much, Jerome, and thank you very much, Father Patrick. Sustainability has been a subject in the Lutheran Church in Liberia from the national church level to auxiliaries, and the men department is no exception, especially where you don't have an international partner. Your resources are coming from your individual's contribution towards your program. So engaging into a sustainability project such as the the pig pottery, and that of the cassava patch. How do you see this transforming the men department in the long run?
All
Either
right.
you or
So
Jerome can answer.
all right. Yeah. So in the transformation of that, this is what's going to happen. If we have all of these projects yielding a fruitful result, what we're going to do is men you can come to the convention and we waive the quotas you need to pay. Just transport yourself and come to the convention. And out of your huge quota, you're supposed to pay. Some of them paying up to 40,000, some of them 30,000. So we say, okay, we waive the quota, come and attend the convention because our anticipation is to win souls for Christ, to making sure that the auxiliaries are to the number of men we wanted to be. So, and some of the reason why most of the men are not going for convention because they are not empowered financially. So when our projects are yielding fruitful results, we raise a lot of money from our projects. Then we try to waive some of these quota that you ought to pay. And right now we are talking about vehicle project. We are talking about buying vehicle for the men fellowship.
All right.
Okay, let me
Thank you,
just
Jerome.
comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Yeah, I think one of the things, in the Lutheran Church, we know that most of our pastor majority are men. I think for the expansion of the peak projects, instead of just going to men, I think we will try to see as to how we can convene those parish pastors so that they can be involved. Saying indeed they are men. I think if each of those parishes can have obligations that are taking the peak from the central and extending it to the various parishes, it will help to keep us together. Number one, it means each parish will have their own responsibility to make sure that how that project that they are handled, it can grow in a way that it will help the church as a whole. But if we just continue to just limit it to men, the thing will be slow. I think what now we can do is the pastors should be involved. Say majority are men. They are no different from, because we saw it when we went Yekepa from the Morea district. A lot of pastors from there, they form part of that. That convention. And when we went by some of our return, we get the messages to our own parishes, those pastors that were not, did not go. So we believe that in the next time now we're talking about having our conventions, a lot of pastors are going to be involved. So if we are involved together in that manner, I think we will use something.
Yeah. Mr. Vice President, I'd like to come in on that. That's where my question was coming from. Sorry. We're experiencing this technical issue, and I wish that the second vice president was here along with the president. I look at some of the photos, you know, from in the convention. I saw very few of pastors, and when we talk about the men's fellowship, I want to believe that pastors are part of the men's fellowship, but very few pastors I saw. Unlike the women fellowship, you found, we don't have a lot of women pastors, but women pastors will go to, if not all of them, but majority of them will be at the women convention. But the men convention, I did not see more pastors, men pastors, at the convention. Why you think that is happening?
Yeah, if I, you said there are some said, some that there is none. And that is why I said they current it down. That's a message we are trying to encourage each parish, wherever the man is doing, the pastor should be involved. In fact, in most of the time, like we talk about meeting, they should be able, to concentrate the congregation, the importance of the men, the role of the man in the church. So if they themselves, all of us can have that concept and begin to work on it from that point, you will see that we'll do something, because all that long is that whenever the men are doing things, sometimes you see the pastor is like, exempted from it. But that is not the story. That is not glaring, and they themselves got into real life. That's the only way I think we can move forward as a church.
I think so. In serious, serious conversation needs to be held about that, because
Yes.
if you really look at things, I mean, though they are pastors, but they are still part of the men fellowship. Unless when they are going to
Yes.
a pastoral fellowship, okay, when they're going to that pastoral fellowship meeting, you have to be a pastor. That's when you have both male and female pastors. We gather together to discuss, issues of concern within the pastoral fellowship and our church as a whole. Okay, but when the men are going for a convention, I think the men should be, like you're saying, the men should be a part of it. But I mean, we see very few of the men, where the men pastors were in there. Very few to nothing, none rather. Very few to none were seen at the convention.
Yeah, but that's a task now we have. Like we are saying, take for you say, if you look at the women convention, they are performing more than the men in the Lutheran. And now that if we are saying that we have the power, because the pastor, they have that power, like I said, they are on the pulpit, they able to convene the congregation by showing the important, what the need from that point, why you need to attend a meeting. If they themselves, let's say the pastor can be involved with a parish meeting, I think the men of that parish will be involved. From that stage now going to the national level, I think that's going to be more. So we just need to just strategize, and our people need to consult the people, saying the men organization in the Lutheran church that have a greater responsibility for the growth of the church, and we are seen to be weak. We all need to come together. We say, look, there is a problem that we have, and we need to correct it. And how can we do that? We all supposed to be in the same accord.
I agree with you, Father Patrick. And I think one of the problems within the Lutheran Church, especially with the lack of participation of pastors within the men's department, is the issue of power and control. How to define their role as pastors who see themselves as leaders of various parishes, and then come into the men's department under a whole different leadership. But then it comes to the auxiliary and the identification of the gender. Like the pastors are men, even though you are a pastor within the parish, but the men's auxiliary is the department or an auxiliary within the Lutheran church in Liberia. So like you saw, the women just went to for their convention in the southeast. And there are a lot of
Yeah.
Lutheran women pastors that are participating in the women's convention
Correct.
in the east. So I think it would be better for this message to start coming from the office of the bishop, and start
Yes.
encouraging the men, and say, you know what, the men department is the only independent body within the Lutheran Church in Liberia. When I say independent body, is that you guys depend on your own resources to keep your department running. You're not depending on any outside resources to support your programs. You raise your
So
own money,
true.
and
Yeah.
to implement what you're doing. And the goal of all of what you are doing is to support the church at large, the Lutheran Church in Liberia as large. Like you're talking about buying a vehicle now for the men's department. If you bought that vehicle will not only serve the purpose of the men's department, but it's gonna help also in propagating the gospel of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. Because as you move from district to district, from parish to parish, you are propagating the gospel through the work you are doing. Especially you're talking about farming, making cassava farm, doing pig poultry, etc. So I think the message should be coming from the office of the bishop through the men's department and through the pastors, encouraging them to, to get involved with the men and to help empower your department both financially and membership wise. That was just a comment from me.
Yes,
Elijah,
I think that's
I
it.
want us to I'm coming, Mr. Jackson. So maybe
Yeah.
since the second vice president has just joined us, and the president, we hope that the president is hearing us. And folks, we want to apologize that there are a lot of there are a lot of efforts being made by the president to be on fully, but um, we're having a serious technical issue. But how be it? I mean, we're glad that they are back. Um, the, Mr. Colley and Father Golian, just in your absence, we're talking about um, the high presence of clergymen at the men's convention. Okay, unlike our women or unlike our mothers during the women convention, you will see a lot of pastors, female pastors, they will be at these conventions. Okay, even the convention prior. Okay, the convention prior to the past convention, a lot of female pastors were there, and it is always they are always at these conventions. But we look at the men convention, we see very few pastors are in there. And my brother raised a concern that it has to do with maybe showing authority, who is above who. But when the church is divided into three fellowships, okay, and you either a man, woman, or you. That's why up to now we haven't had the youth and young adult. So if you find yourself, despite being a pastor, but you find yourself under the men's ministry, the men's fellowship, I think it's incumbent upon every man to be part of the men's fellowship. But now the question is why you see that a lot of our pastors, especially male pastors, are staying away from the national convention. Then we can bring in Brother Cully. Okay, he's muted right now. Father Golan, do you want to come in? You are muted right now, Father Golan. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear
Hello?
me?
We can hear you. Good, good. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
you can hear you.
Okay. So thank you again for having me, and sorry for the inconveniences.
No,
I
it's not
just
your
don't know
fault. It's not your fault.
what is
But we're
going
glad
on
you are here.
with. Okay, yeah. So I myself have actually started to wonder why. I mean, we're not having the turn of the and the cooperation of the male pastors as we should, because in fact we've worked along with them through the pastoral fellowship president, asking him to please inform his men, the male pastors, to join us. Unfortunately, I mean, he tells me yes because officially when we're having these programs, we send official communication to him so that he'll be able to transmit it through the room to his fellow colleagues. But that is just not happening. And he tells us, well, I'm spreading the news. But it's like, I don't know. But I don't think they are showing interest. So what we are hoping is, again, we'll go back, we just keep making the call, the clarion call that look, the pastors, especially male pastors, their involvement will encourage our men at the various parish levels, the district level, to get more involved. Because imagine if
again, we got Father Goliath going out. We are
That's it.
having, yeah.
Yeah, man. The network today. But Father Jackson, you can come in. You were saying you were in flight when
Yeah, yeah, the internet connectivity in our to our end is something bad. You are just getting me clear because it's like I'm using the hospitality. That's why you see me more out there compared to them where they are. In fact, I have to leave my home and come to my office so that I can be able, to fully participate. Yeah,
wonderful.
just as the president was saying, I think it is something that all of us has to work on. Meaning that it's something that the high office had to be informed. It's good that we will be going for the Lutheran conventions in Monrovia. I mean, some of these things we need to open up because that's the only way our church will move forward. Because looking at the men that will look at to be the pillar of the church, and when it comes to our own activity, it looks somehow sluggish in terms of interest to do the work. I think we have the power because, like the Lutheran Church, we got more maids that are pastors. And we believe, not even at all, because if you look all the religious background, even our various parishes, we give them that courtesy. So I don't think the issue should be who is big in terms of authority because we will not go to that level. It's just a matter that when all of us just understand where there is a need, the pastor to be involved, so that they themselves can be able to consult the congregation so that everybody can know that we belong to that organization and we need to play our role as a church. So I think with that, I think we will get somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually fair enough. Elijah, you got another question? Because we only have Father Jackson tonight.
I
Yeah.
know, Father
Yeah,
Jackson, he has covered a lot. We have covered a lot of grounds with Father
yeah,
Jackson. I was really excited when Father Goliath was getting on because most of our questions kind of like things that he should be addressing directly. Given Father Jackson being just the first vice president dealing with the rural area of the Med Department. However, Father Jackson, I want to ask you this question. Looking at your projects and things that you are carrying on, what could you say are your challenges in achieving your goals of these very projects?
Yeah, number one, I mean, when we talk about challenges, we cannot, not all of the men are working in full. Even though, yes, it's not just money. But if all of us are together, our involvement and play that active role, I think we can get somewhere. Because even if you all come together, is little put together, it will become big. If the interest is there, we'll go like you listen to the second vice president where he talk about guys are pick there and we are calling men to come for it so that spread. But you see, people are so slow. Again, I go back to say that this is why instead of men, I think we need to be targeting parishes so that they can take that responsibility. And one of the good things of that project,
Father
yeah,
Johnson, let me hold you there. Like, are you saying you are expecting men to come and take the picklets to take it to their parishes? Okay. I understand that this is a project that the National Lutheran Churchmen agreed to take on. Okay. So, what is the resolution surrounding the implementation of this project? Because I guess this was a resolution passed at one of your conventions where you are to undertake this particular project as a means of raising fundings to raising funds to support the men's department. So there should be some mandate that was given the leadership to say, look, when you start this project, maybe give this parish two picklets, that parish two picklets. Because I know within the Lutheran Church in Liberia, if you say we're just going to wait for people to come willingly to say, oh, we come to get two of these, we come to get four of these, I don't think you're going to already have this project going as you wish to. So I think there should be some mandate or some resolution that will give the president the authority to say, look, we have the piglets are here, and we're going to be giving it the parishes. The president of those various districts and parishes can come and take delivery of their piglets, and then they will be held reliable to raise them and to multiply them. So I think that way you are able to achieve your goal. Because I know right now you only have the project in Bomi at a very low scale. It's not, you don't have many yet. As Jerome said, I think you have a 19 piglets right now.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
minimal. So you have 19 now. So if you took those 19 and distributed them among maybe 4 or 5, or maybe just initially amongst the districts, Monrovia district, lower Lofa district, upper Lofa district, they take two, 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 and they come together at district to start raising them. So like that, you already expanding. So, but I don't think waiting for individual parishes to come and say we want them would be a very good strategy to implement and achieve your goal in this project.
yeah. The project started as just like a feasibility study. It first started begin with a resolution that we have to endeavor in the kind of projects and go. We started it, and from the way we look at it from the initial stage, if we all know that, know the importance of it, like I've just mentioned parishes, perhaps even may not be a parish, maybe if we look at it to be big, because you also look at the feeding of these animals. Maybe let's say we select it by district. I think in one of our meetings, those are something that we're going to be stretching, and we try to do that so that we can just have something doing instead of just sitting down. Until we go for, let's say, conventions, or we call the, let us try to have something that to say that we can endeavor on it so that it will serve as an interest for all of us. Like right now, the single area that we are seeing bombing. And now that we're seeing that, I think a year something, if we can, it may not be out of the area, but we can find another district that can be volunteer to say that, look, we're able to make an extension of the, I think we'll be getting somewhere. Because most of the, let's say in the Lutheran church, one of the things that gave us a problem is that, there's no job. Most of these people too are not working. Not that the waiting mass is not there. So there's a lot of factors that are causing these things. So the only way that we can do it is so now we have, let's say, parishes involved, districts involved. Maybe somehow they will be able to do it, but on an individual level, like to say, men, it will be small for some of those people to just handle it out. But we have a lot of challenges that we talk about. You heard what the second vice president said. Sometimes we receive money just one time. That is when we are going for convention. In fact, the convention is like we were blessed, it was election convention. So as a result, more people were compared, because they wanted to take part in the election, so they had to pay all of their quota. So I think just from the convention, I think most of those things going to be, will be strategized to see how best we can handle some of these things. In fact, those are all to the rural area, like President in the upper bone. We are having a discussion designed to see as to how we can locate a place so that we ourselves can have our involved in. Those are those things that we're going to be doing. But there are some parishes that are really encountering problem when they actually come to finance. Because most of the members are not employed. Liberia, that is one of our major problems.
We are no stranger to that, Father Patrick. We know that.
Yeah.
But Jerome, glad you are back
Yeah.
on, and we were asking Father Patrick here just to talk about some of the challenges in implementing your various projects. Oh boy, Jerome, are you hearing me?
Jerome, I have Father Goliath on the phone. Maybe he'll be better on the phone this time around. Father Goliath.
Yeah. So, for example, like I was saying, you see some of those challenges that we have, and just be able to be on with you people only because of the institutions I work. So from the very place, so there's a lot of challenges when you come on a scene here because where they are, the internet connectivity is just poor.
Yeah.
Folks, again, we want to apologize. The situation right now is beyond our reach. So we will be wrapping up
Yeah.
in the next 5 minutes. But Father Jackson, we again, like we inform you that this is not going to be your first time. We're going to invite you again. We'll be discussing other issues like the
Okay.
work of the men in your region, and I like the fact that my brother Elijah was able to get out of the both of you, the first vice president, second vice president, to clearly define, you know, what role you play. You know, especially hearing that you have two vice presidents, that there's not a conflict, that you are able, you were able to clearly state, you know, which region and what responsibility, your responsibility. Again, we see Brother Jerome is back. So maybe Brother Jerome can just respond to the question that we had on the floor. Like we said, we're gonna try again to organize this so we'll have a better timing that the men can come back again and we can discuss a whole lot more. Um, I too had a lot of questions for the president. Like we said, the president was here with us some time ago, a year and a half ago. And the president talked about a whole lot of projects. And the fact that the men, men's ministry, the men's fellowship is having this great project and struggling to raise, to raise income or to get proceeds from this project, I think it's troubling because with the large majority of male pastors that we have, we shouldn't be having any problem. We shouldn't be having any problem. All of our most of our parishes are headed by male pastors. They should just take these and say, you know what, in fact, St. Matthew, take one pair and continue to, then St. Matthew men will continue to raise that and sell it, and that will be also St. John Zozo feasible parish, and going down to Buchanan, or even the youth. We can also go to the youth and tell the youth, say, listen, we got two for you. Go ahead and go ahead and raise these two piglets. But now this is where we are, you know. But again, Father Jackson, we know that time is fast spent. Is a
Yeah.
little bit late in your area. I know you left home just to come and be here with us, and we really want to appreciate that. We really do appreciate you. So if you can give us your closing comment, um, as we always say on MLC Talk, when you come the first time, you will continue to come. So we will be getting in touch with you. We're glad that we have your contact. We'll be getting in touch with you and to discuss some other issue. It might not be the men's ministry. Well, it also has to do with, it might have to do with Phoebe, where you are, Phoebe, to highlight some of the progress, the progress made at Phoebe. So yes, if you can give her your
Yeah. In
closing
my
comment.
party, yeah, my closing comment, I will first of all say thank you very much for organizing such a wonderful platform. And I will always be interested, more especially when it is the something to have to do with the Lutheran Church, even Phoebe Hospital. I will be willing. And like I said, at Phoebe, more especially when it comes to that with my own status with the hospital. I mean, I had some little opportunities that some of these things are able to participate. Even tomorrow, I will have to even disseminate. The next is even encourage people from St. Mark in Banga, because we have a lot of artists, people that there, so that they too can form part of it, more especially Father Kwakwe from Sanohis, and he's one of the men, he's the president for the Upper Bond District. So our next round, when I got the information, we will also connect them so that we can give a bigger, pictures of this thing for him. He worked at Carrington, so that we can give, interesting story about our church. And that's the only way. Like today is my very first time, but I'm so interested. And that you people could organize this, that you can be able to take the views of the National Lutheran Church Men fellowships, our activities to that level. So we praise that we keep doing this thing, it will make us stronger. And whatever that is a problem, I believe when we begin to talk about it, we all one day God will make us, will understand we got somewhere. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Father Jackson, we really, 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 really want to thank you. Thank you so so much. And I know when I say this, my brother Zena will agree with me that even if you can bring, when we are about to discuss the upper bond or lower bond, if you can bring the rest of the group with you in your office so that we can have good connectivity and just have this good conversation, I think it will be a wonderful idea. Yes, but we really do
Yeah.
appreciate you.
All that we need to do, maybe we had adjustment in time.
Yes, yes, we definitely do. We're going to arrange that way ahead of time, and
Yeah.
we'll make sure that you guys
Yeah.
have enough time. Yeah. Um, but
No.
but
They could do
Jerome,
that. I could bring them here again to have it.
yeah, absolutely. But Jerome,
Yeah.
my man, the network is not on our side, so we're getting closing comments now. But we're gonna rearrange this to have a better conversation. This is just the first one.
All right. So let me say thank you. Thank you very much. Thank to the studio for the organization again of this podcast. Um, I will close by informing the public that the induction program of the newly elected officer is scheduled for May, either the third Sunday or the fourth Sunday, and the venue could be either at St. Peter's or at St. Matthew, because we are still not really sure with regards to the Mother's Day program to the both parishes. So the two parishes, they are primary and alternative. So and the dates are also primary alternative. That is either the 19th or the 26th of May for the induction of the officers of the National Lutheran Church Men Fellowship. So we are counting all men to be there. On that day, we will be launching our vehicle project. Like we said, we want to own our own vehicle now. So we'll be launching our vehicle project on that day. I want to say thank you very much. We are sorry that the internet got serious challenge here, especially for some of us where we live. If it was around my office, that would have been better. But around my community, the internet is very challenging. But however, at least our in and out, in and out. But thank you very much for the organization, and thanks to the first vice president, Mr. Jackson, for impressing
Yeah.
the Lutheran Church with those information that needed to have been addressed with the general public. Thanks so much. Thanks again, and we hope to be recalled so that we can discuss in detail. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Jeremy. I
Mr.
appreciate
Jackson.
you
You're
making
welcome.
effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, but Jerome, to be honest with you, we dropped the ball. Okay, it's been more than a year, and we're gonna take responsibility for that. We dropped the ball on having you back on the show. We're talking about the men's fellowship.
Yeah.
We had a men's fellowship twice, and it's been a long time. But this time around, we're gonna try to make it up so that we're gonna have our fellowship, the men, the women, the youth to come more often so that we can discuss some of these issues, especially with the fact that the men's fellowship, you know, um, that's it. A large number of our pastors are male, and we're having this problem, you know, raising funds from the project that we all agree to carry out. I think it is troubling. We need to have a conversation around this. Perhaps, maybe not too swift to the office of the bishop, but I think the men and the pastoral fellowship will have to actually kind of work towards this and try to resolve it. Yeah. But definitely, we make some arrangements in the month of April to call you all back so we can have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Jerome, I just want to say personally, I appreciate the efforts made by you to just be on the show tonight. We understand the internet situation in Liberia, and Father Jackson, you nailed it. Giving your location and also with the kind of connectivity you had tonight, that's very, very much appreciated. And we're looking forward to redoing this, where
Mhm.
we can have you all back here and then having a really good conversation around maybe Willie, like you saying, maybe we can bring the men's president, the women president, and that of the youth president. We can bring the three of
Yeah.
them together and just have a conversation with them and just understand different perspectives of the work of the work they're doing within the LCL. So that's something we're looking forward to, and we always appreciate you guys making the effort to be part of this show. And Father Jackson, as my co-host said, as Willie said, we might be hosting you again to talk specifically about Phoebe and that of the Lutheran University,
Yeah.
since your campus is hosting one of the campuses of the Lutheran University. You'll be able to give us some insight about that and what's going on and what has been some of the success stories. So we look forward to having that conversation with you as well.
All right. Before we leave, folks, we just want to
All
let
right,
you know
thank
that
you.
next Sunday is our bishop's hour. Next Sunday, we're going to be having 1 full hour with our bishop. It's been a little while that we haven't had bishop on the show. We know that the schedule's involved, but on this Sunday, beginning tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, the flyer is going to be coming up. We want to make enough awareness about it. There are a lot of things, a lot of developments. We want our bishop to come here and talk with us, and our bishop doesn't shy from. He never shy away from having a conversation with us. So again, folks, we want to say thank you very much. May God richly bless every one of us. Say happy, have a blessed week, a holy week to come. Thank you so much.
You better.